So here we're going to be talking about another example for mind planning. You can also go modify it on Canva if you want. Career planning is one of the most essential parts in each and every person's life, and also having a mind map for you to be able to organize your career planning is very effective. You'll be able to plan ahead and know each step that you're taking, make sure that you fall into a career that you actually like. Career planning is the main idea. Why is it the main idea? You want to plan your career because you want to find the right job, or you want to follow the right career path that you have in mind. Therefore, you have the main idea, which is career planning. You have all the different branches. You have some ideal companies in mind. You have some possibilities. You have your self-assessment to know where you fit the most and your current skills. So once you figure out the branches, as we said, you might have different branches. In career planning, you might be thinking a lot about location. You might be thinking about salary. You might be thinking about royalties, some extra things that would add to it. You might be looking at commission. You might be looking at some extra things that you would get at a job. You might be looking at what position you're getting at this job. Eventually, the possibilities are endless based on what you think is important in terms of your career planning. But in this example, we're going to say the most important things are for you to assess your current skills and assess yourself, and look at the ideal companies that you would love to work at. What kind of companies are there, and the different possibilities that you have in front of you, all the different companies that offered you opportunities. And then you go through your current skills and you see that you have a lot of skills in marketing, in communications, and in persuasion. Okay, that says something. You have a tendency for example, marketing and sales. And then you do a self-assessment. You see your strength. You see that also you're really good in handling relationships. You're really good at selling stuff. You're really good at you have all the different strength, and you have the desired strength. So you want to become better at analyzing marketing plans, for example. What are your weaknesses? You don't like to work as part of a team, for example. And then when you use these, then you move to the ideal company. What are the values? Maybe you care about nature and you don't want to work for a company that is destroying rainforests. A culture. Maybe you are very, very attached to a certain culture that you would prefer to work in a company that follows this culture rather than a company with a different culture and environment, the kind of organizational environment inside the company. Now, based on all of these things, when you go into the different possibilities that you have, company A, B, and C. And as we talked before about structure enhancing, see, in this case, if you did use structure enhancing, it would have been way easier for you to understand this mind map. If instead of putting all of these different branches and sub-branches like that around the career planning, if we did kind of an organizing, current skills, we put it as number 1, self-assessment as number 2, ideal company as number 3, possibilities as number 4. You know that you need to go through your current skills, then add the self-assessment, then add the ideal company's values, and then assess which company between all the 3 companies you want to choose. Okay, so this is why structure enhancing is very important. But carrying on, so self-assessment, ideal company, and current skills are done. Then you have the companies. You go to company A and you see that, okay, you have a position where you can use all your skills, you can use all your strength, but you know what? They won't teach you anything about how to do marketing plans and how to eventually get to the desired strength that you want to get to. And their organizational environment is not good, and people don't really like it. And then you find out that, you know what, I don't think that's a good choice. Company B also had a problem, and then you go to company C and you see that it fits you. All the ideal company values are in there. They match your skills. They're offering you a position where you're going to be able to do marketing plans, so worked on your desired strength, and they're going to be able to take you out of your weaknesses because there's going to be a lot of teamwork that you're going to be involved in as long as you're comfortable, yada yada yada. And then you find that company C is the best choice based on the mind mapping that you did. But of course, as I said before, If it was structured, it would have been way easier, because just looking at a mind map without having a certain orientation, if it needs one, would make it difficult. If I started with career planning and I went through the possibilities, companies A, B, and C, I might have done a judgment on company A, B, and C based on what I have in front of me before going into all the different ideal companies, assessment, and current skills. And once you have an opinion, you never get a second choice to make a first impression. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if you read about company A and you think that, okay, I don't think this fits me for any reason, without considering all the different branches that you added, even after reading the branches, you might get to company A or company B or company C that eventually you chose company C. And maybe after reading about company C, you're going to disregard everything that you read in current skills, self-assessment, and ideal company, because your opinion is biased. You already read about it at first without thinking about these things, and you already think that it's a bad company, and you end up making the bad choice. So that's why working on the structure of your mind plan is also essential for you to be able to carry on with it and execute it perfectly.